Hello, welcome to the fourth part of the training video for the Goldratt simulator. Okay, let's do a quick recap of all the things that we have discussed so far. So we have familiarized ourselves with the various parts of the simulator. We have realized what a resource is. Resources are these rectangles. We have also identified how to allocate resources. The color code kind of gives it away. So if we see a green, then we have to deploy a green resource. And if we see a brown, then we have to allocate a brown, and so on and so forth. We have also discussed about raw materials. Raw materials are the inputs that are needed to feed the system. So we have made purchases by clicking on these circles or ellipses, and we have bought materials over there. So we have also seen how to calculate the total number of or total amount of raw material required for each of these products, and then we have made those purchases. We also discussed which production lines to optimize, to prioritize, and which lines to give a little bit of slack to. So any line that is more independent or that is more likely to generate revenues quicker should be allocated resources on priority, and the remaining resources have to be judiciously distributed among the other production lines. Now, as far as the guiding philosophy for this simulation is concerned, we are taking two, which is fill the levels. So go by level from bottom to top, right? So what we did for that is, first we purchased the raw materials. We had cash, 10,000 allocated to us. We spent quite a lot of it. We are just left with $2,775. But we have made all the raw material purchases. So as soon as our simulation begins, none of these production lines are going to suffer because of lack of raw materials. Okay. Second thing is, we have seen where are we going to need the resources, and we have made allocations accordingly. So we realized that we are going to need the greens in the A and C lines earlier than in the F line, because F line can be productive without us giving the green resource to this position. So we have allocated the green resources here. Similarly, the next step was the brown resource requirement, and we have allocated the brown resource to this guy. Now moving over to the E line, we have allocated a cyan resource, and we have allocated the magenta resource on top of it, so that this line can also be productive. Over here, we have realized, we saw that we had 10 units available to us, pre-processed units. So we quickly went ahead with giving the blue resource to this guy so that he can start producing these pre-processed materials to up top. And then we have given the magenta resource to it and a cyan resource to it, so that we can start selling items over here. Now, before we actually go ahead and click on the start button, we need to keep certain future steps pre-calculated for ourselves. So what is the first switch that we are going to make in this setup? I think the first switch has to be of this blue resource from over here to over here. Remember, we had discussed the criticality of this line, because this process, it's a blue resource and it takes a really long time, 28 minutes to process, and it further complicates the situation that because we have 15 pre-processed units available to us. I apologize, I keep on changing, or rather interchangeably using resource requirements, process requirements, etc. Just ignore me, or keep a mental note of that as to what should I be really meaning. Anyway, so I think the first move is going to be from here to here, because we really want to build some buffer up here. Once some amount of buffer is made, by that time we would have had some units, or in fact 25 units are available to us. Then we can move this blue to over here, and this line can also be made productive. There could be, the next step could be moving of the green resource. So the green resource, as you can see, is required over here for this product 1 line, and we need to make a move of the green resource from here to here, or depending upon how fast this production line manages to sell the processed goods, we may have to deploy one green resource from these guys, from one of these two guys to here. So those are the other two things that we need to make a move of. All right. So with this, let's get to start the simulation where the real fun is. Now, when you start the simulation, it starts real slow, but you have an option to pace it up. So I'm actually going to pace it up. Right now it is at pace 1 level. I will take it to pace 3 so that things start moving a little quicker, and we don't have to keep staring at the screen for a very long time. Okay, so let me go ahead and click on the freeze button. Now it starts running. You can see that this guy has started producing, and accordingly this symbols have changed. So it has started producing. Some of them are still setting up. A1 is setting up, C1 is setting up, F9 is setting up. That's why we are not seeing any sales as yet. Okay, so as I said, we may have to move the blue guy from over here to here. As you can see, it has already consumed most of the units. So we can, once it is 0, we can move the blue guy to over here. Okay, so as soon as blue becomes idle, I'm going to move it here. Now the A's have also set themselves up and they have started working. So let them keep working. You keep an eye on this time factor here. It's running. It will run to 8 before it comes to a stop. So we still have around half of the day left of day 1. The other thing that you could take a note of is that this requirement was 40, or the demand was 40. It has reduced to 30 because we have sold all the 10 units, which is a good thing because we have also raised some money here. We were left with some $2,775 of cash. Now since we have made the sales here, it has increased to $4,575. Very soon we are going to hit the end of day 1. We've already run for 6.5 minutes, or 6.5 hours actually. So now one of these greens is empty, so I can move the green here, and I can move the green here, so we can start producing. We're about to hit the end of day 1. There you go. So yeah, we have reached the end of day 1. Now we have only 4 more days left to make all the sales happen. We have registered some cash revenue, so that's good. And now let's go ahead and get into day 2. So close the window and then click on the red. So it's going to start producing now. Okay, so we have built some amount of buffer here. I'm going to let it go up till maybe 2015 and then move the blue to here so that we can start getting some buffers here as well. Okay, we have 15. Now the reason why I did that is because these A and C units are almost all produced. This brown guy has worked really quickly, so only a few units are remaining over here. Now I'm going to have all the units processed at this level. Now brown can be moved to this level, and I'm going to move a sign over here so that I can start selling. Okay, so the sign is going to take 60 seconds. I made a mistake. I should have made this move a little earlier. It's like chess. You know, the quicker you move, the more money you're going to make. Okay. I'm quickly going to run out of resources here, so I'm going to move the blue to this guy so I can start having some units of this being built. I'm going to move F9 to here so that I can start producing some of this as well. So now you can see that this line, this product 2 line, has come to a trickle because we have the big constraint over here. It's really slow. It's not moving things fast enough. So it's processing one and it's immediately going and getting sold. Okay. So our day 2 is over. We have registered some more cash, which is good. Now let's take a look at how we are doing so far. Okay. So we finished almost everything at this level. I don't think we would need any further material over here. And one area where we are not doing so well is the F line. You see, F has everything moved from this level to this level up. We will need to deploy a cyan, and we have a cyan idling, so we can, as soon as we get into day 3, we should deploy the cyan over here so that it starts processing these 30 units available to it. And then we are also going to need a magenta. We have 2 magentas, so we can definitely make this move fast. But by the time these guys are processing these items, we will let this blue run here. We will allow some buffer to be developed over here, and then we will move the blue to this level so that this line doesn't suffer much. Okay, so those are the notes for the next day. Let's close the window, make the arrangements, which is a magenta and a cyan to these lines, and start. So they're going to take some time to set themselves up. The cyan is a little slow. At some point I will also have to toggle this this brown guy over here. So I'm waiting for a buffer to be built up over here. I can move blue to here, and then this line will be idle, so I can move this guy to this guy. So those are going to be my next steps. So I will allow this to be, the entire thing to be depleted. So everything here and everything here should move to here, and then I will move this guy to the blue guy to this position. Till then I will let the sale happen. Hold on. I have a joke here because I think I'm using both the cyans. Okay, so now I am going to make a call. Let me freeze it and tell you why I'm going to make a call on the cyan resource. You see that this cyan is producing, but it has already produced some buffer, whereas here there is a requirement for cyan, and this can actually make a sale happen. So, but this is not really making a sale yet. So I'm going to take the A6 away and from A and put it on D, so that I can make these 9 things that have been built to sell quickly, so that I can make some money by the end of the day. So my F line is moving really nicely. I have 5 to be processed here and 10 to be processed here. I think I'll do well. I'm starting to make some sales again. Okay, my cash register is ringing. You see, I made quite a few sales. Okay, now this is idle, so I can definitely move this guy to here. So he will start producing. Then I have a cyan here. I can move this cyan over here at some point in time. My day 3 is about to end. I've made quite a few cash. Cool. So by the end of day 3, we are already in profit. We have made 1,495 profit more. But day 4 and day 5 should be really productive for us because we have items moving in really nicely. And what we should be doing next? Well, the next steps should be to move the blue guy from here to here once we reach the entire section here. We will see that in the next video.